morning, children. Today we are starting with second unit of your class 12 syllabus. Last unit which we have studied is electrostatics. Now we are going to start with current electricity. Well, children, in electrostatics throughout the charges remain at rest. They do not move. If we look at the last article we studied in the chapter capacitor, where we studied the law of shading of charges. The law of shading of charges states that two conductors are going to share the charges only when they have different electric potential. Charge moves from one conductor to another when the two conductors or capacitors have different value of electric potential. So when the charges move, then comes this unit which is called current electricity. Well, the very first topic which we are going to discuss here is electric current. What is electric current? Electric current is nothing but flow of charges. When air flows, what is created? Air current. When water flows, what is created? Water current. When heat flows, what is created? Thermal current. Likewise, if electric charges flow, what is going to be created? Electric current. Electric current is mathematically defined as rate of flow of charge. That is, ratio of charge flowing to the time. Ratio of charge flowing to the time in which the charge flows is called electric current. I is the ratio of charge flown to the time in which the charge flows. This value of current is called as average value of current. And if we write I as dq by dt, it is instantaneous value of current. Current, children, is a scalar quantity as it does not follow law of vector addition. You have studied already in electrostatics that the charge resides where? Over the surface of conductor, and wherever charge resides, it is going to move there only. So whichever shape the surface of the conductor has got, along that surface, along that shape, through the surface of that shape, the charges move. They do not have any specific direction. Well, unit of current is coulomb per second. Coulomb is the unit of charge per unit time. There is coulomb per second, and 1 coulomb per second is called as 1 ampere. Well, the question which again should come up in your mind as to why a charge moves. I already told you right in the beginning. It is because of the difference of potential between the 2 points. The charge moves in between those 2 points. So it is because of electric potential difference the charge moves. This electric potential difference is also called as EMF, electromotive force, or in our day-to-day life we also call it as voltage. Well, it is because of electric potential difference the electric current is created. The concept of electric current is exactly similar to the concept of this is water current, this is thermal current. Well, these are two containers. They have liquid at different levels in both the containers, and both the containers are connected to each other through this pipe. This container which has higher level of liquid has higher gravitational potential, and this container of the liquid which has lower level of liquid has a lower gravitational potential. This is lower gravitational potential, and this is higher. This is higher gravitational potential. Now, as the two are connected, what happens? The water flows from this side to this side, and the flow continues until the level of liquid in both the container is same. And when the level of liquid in both the container is same, well, gravitational potential is same. If the two bodies, if if two bodies having different thermodynamic potential, which is called as their temperature, are brought in contact, again the thermal energy would flow from one to another, and it will flow until both the bodies acquire the same value of temperature, which is called their thermodynamic potential. Well, exactly in the same way, if the two conductors have different electric potential, and if they are brought in contact, well, the current would flow from one to other, and positive charges flow from higher potential to low potential. Well, these are 2 points having two different potentials, V1, V2, and we know potential is what? Potential is nothing but work done in bringing unit charge from infinity to that point. If V1 is the potential of this point, work done is what? V1 to bring a unit charge from infinity to this point. If potential of this point is V2, that means to bring unit charge from infinity to this point, work done is what? V2. Well, both the works are different, and it is by virtue of these different works, these 2 points are associated with different energy, and by virtue of that energy, the charge moves from one point to another. If this V1 has greater potential, this V2 has lesser potential, well, the positive charge will move from V1 to V2. So charges flow. Why? Because of electric potential difference. And also you know, electric field intensity is a negative potential gradient. E is equal to minus dq by dr. So if there is a potential difference, that is V2 minus V1. Potential difference V is nothing but difference of V1 and V2. If V1 is greater, it is V1 minus V2, or if V2 is greater, it is V2 minus V1. So, because of electric potential difference, there is electric field, and due to electric field, there is force over charge. And when there is force over charge, what happens? The charge is going to move. Well, so why charge moves? Why is there electric current? I hope that is clear to all of you. Now let us discuss about Ohm's law. Okay, children, Ohm's law. You are already familiar with current, potential difference, or even Ohm's law. Ohm's law relates current with electric potential difference. And you know, at constant temperature, potential difference across the ends of the conductor is directly proportional to current flowing through the conductor. So V and I, they are directly proportional to each other. If you remove sign of proportionality, we get a constant. That constant is called resistance, electrical resistance of the conductor. Well, R, resistance of the conductor, is a constant for a conductor, and it is opposition to the flow of charges, or say opposition to the flow of current. This resistance is given as rho times L upon A. Resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor and inversely proportional to cross-sectional area of the conductor. Well, R is equal to rho L upon A, where L is length, A is cross-sectional area, and rho is resistivity or a specific resistance. Well, now let us discuss current density. Now these are some new definitions which are coming up before you. Whatever we have studied so far, you knew them, all these points already. Current density. Current density is the current flowing per unit cross-sectional area of the conductor. It is a vector quantity, and of course its unit is going to be ampere per meter square, current upon area. If this is a conductor, it is connected across a battery, there is a potential difference across the end of the conductor. Because of potential difference, there would be current, and the current would flow in this direction. Well, the direction of current, what we say, is in fact the direction of current density. Current itself is a scalar quantity, you know it already. So the direction of current is nothing but the direction of current density. Well, the current density direction is always perpendicular to the cross-sectional area of the conductor, either in this direction or it is in this direction. If the battery is connected like this, the current is going to flow like this, current density is going to be in this direction. Well, if we have a cubical block of conductor and this current source is connected across, well, the length of the cube is length L, width is B, height is H. If the source of the current is connected across these two surfaces, in that case current density is going to be I upon these areas, that is J34 is equal to I upon BH. This area is going to be B into H. if the current sources are connected across front and the surface which is behind, 1, 2. Well, in that case, the cross-sectional area would be what? Front surface or back surface, that is LB. And if the current source is connected across 5 and 6 surfaces, in that case, the cross-sectional area is going to be this lower surface or the upper surface, which is L into B. Well, current electric field intensity. As a conductor is connected across a battery, there is an electric field set up in the conductor. This is positive terminal of the battery, this is negative terminal of the battery. So there is an electric field created in the conductor from positive side to negative side, and this electric field is constant. Since electric field is constant, therefore it can be written as the potential difference across the length of the conductor upon L, the length of the conductor. Of course, this conductor is of uniform cross-sectional area. The direction of E is same as that of J. So, E and J, the current density, they have identical direction, similar direction, same direction. Now, vector form of Ohm's law. Well, you are studying it for the first time. Well, at constant temperature, electric field intensity or electric potential gradient across a conductor is directly proportional to current density. E is directly proportional to J at constant temperature. If we remove sign of proportionality, we get constant, that is called rho, specific resistance or resistivity. It can also be written as J is equal to 1 upon rho times E, and 1 upon rho is conductivity. So J is equal to sigma times E. Sigma is conductivity. Well, now let us proceed ahead with electron model of conductor. Well, in electron model, every conductor has an ocean of electron. Every conductor has sea of electron. So according to electron model of conductor, every conductor has an ocean of electron, sea of electron, or say there is electron cloud. An electron in the cloud have these following characteristics. Well, number 1, electronic chaos. Electron in a conductor, they keep moving randomly and haphazardly in all directions with all possible velocities. This is the motion of electron, which is random and haphazard in all directions. Random and haphazard. They move randomly and haphazardly in all directions with all possible velocities. And while moving, they collide among themselves and with the positive nucleus. All the collisions are elastic in nature. And in between two collisions, electrons move along rectilinear path, straight line path. This is straight line path in between two consecutive collisions. The average value of these straight line path is called free mean path. And inter-electronic force, there exists no force of interaction between electrons. Electrons neither attract nor repel each other because they are too small. Their sphere of influence is very, very small. So even if they come very close to each other, they do not exert a force or repulsion over each other. Electronic size. The size of electron is negligible. Every electron is just like a point charge as well as point mass. Well, since electron move randomly and haphazardly, average velocity of electron, if we find out average of velocity of all the electron, it comes out to be what? Average velocity of all the electrons would be what? Sum of the velocities upon the number of, well, this is average velocity. So average velocity of all the electrons in a conductor is 0. Why? Because they move randomly and haphazardly. So there is no net displacement of electron from one part of the conductor to another. If some electron move from this part of the conductor to this part of the conductor, same number of electrons moves from here to here. So this is what happens. Average density of the electron, N is electron density. That electron density remains constant and the distribution of electron throughout the volume of the conductor remains uniform. But that is what we say as the average velocity of all the electrons is 0. So beyond this point we will continue in the next lecture. Thank you very much. God bless you all.